Hey everybody, Saigan Cat here with a Quester's Rest. I got a lot more sun today than I thought I did. Usually I'm like bleach white, and right now I'm red. That's okay though, because I actually turn tan really quickly. I don't burn, like I turn lobster red, and then I'm golden brown the rest of the summer, which is fantastic. So, we're here to talk about E3. There were a bunch of press conferences today. I'm recording this the evening of June 10th. I'm not going to talk about everything because I missed some stuff. I missed like the entire Ubisoft press conference, which is a shame. Microsoft press conference this morning. I don't know if it was a wise move. I like that they spent a lot of time talking about games and they didn't mention motion controls once, which was glorious because the last couple of years have been, oh, connect this, connect that, connect, wave your arms around and play games. And it seems to me that they've finally recognized that, no, it's bad. Nobody cares about motion controls. Okay, cool stuff. Dude, Titanfall. Where did that come from? Shame it's by EA, and... I know. It's made by the people who left Treyarch, I think, whoever did Call of Duty. It's by a bunch of employees who left the Call of Duty folks and headed over to EA, and they created a new development team, and they made Titanfall, which is a first-person shooter. If you're into first-person shooters, that's cool. Personally, I like the sci-fi ones. Titanfall is heavy sci-fi element. It's got the mechs. It looks like it plays really well. But again, it's by EA. And it's a real shame that this beauty of a game has been picked up by a publisher that is not very well known for being kind to its customers. Second problem, it's on the Xbox One. Rumor is that it's going to be exclusive to Windows platforms. I'm understanding that there should be a PC release down the road, which helps out a bit. It's still EA though. What else? New Halo. I was pretty excited for that. Killer Instinct. That came out of freaking nowhere. I was like, is that Jago? Is that Saberwolf? Oh my god, it's Killer Instinct. I was never actually a Killer Instinct fan. I am still not a Killer Instinct fan. I cannot get into it. I guess I can see the appeal. I'm excited for how excited the Killer Instinct fans are, because that's just amazing news for them. They've been wanting a new Killer Instinct for ages. Oh my gosh, what else? Spark looked interesting. There's a lot of focus on live glass, and I don't think that that's a good place to be placing focus. I think that it's a nice bonus thing that the developers should handle, but not focus on so much. Forza looked pretty as hell. Like, I don't like racing games, but I wish I did so I could play Forza, because it just looks really good. Despite those games looking just completely fantastic, there's still the matter that the Xbox One is a Brave New World machine. It's not something that people should be purchasing because of its always-on functionality. Microsoft is essentially holding its consumers at gunpoint and saying, I don't trust you, so I'm going to watch you 24/7 to make sure that you're paying us every single penny that we can milk out of you so that you can play our games. If you haven't watched Yahtzee's rundown, getting like a lot of glare from my television, I just noticed. I'm watching Chunibyo, which is an awesome show. It's probably my favorite anime this year. You should totally watch it. Yahtzee's review of which consoles to buy this generation, amazing. Go watch his Zero Punctuation on it, because that sums up the Xbox One very well. And they didn't talk about any of it. And instead they focused on gameplay, which I think is the only move that they have that at this point isn't just backpedaling and saying, okay, we take it all back. We understand nobody's happy with these decisions. Let's just X-nay that. And instead they just dodged the issue altogether and were like, hey, here's some really cool looking games. Maybe if we distract people long enough with the pretties, they'll buy our system anyways. And it was really kind of working by the time the Halo reveal came up, because I like Halo a lot. I like it for the story. I don't spend very much time online playing, but I actually do enjoy the story and the universe that Bungie put in place, and I think that 343 is doing a good job continuing the series. Oh, that said, still would not be wise to purchase an Xbox One. In purchasing an Xbox One, you're being supportive of Microsoft's anti-consumer strategy. Next up, what was next? Oh, the EA press conference. That was... I want to say that it was like 2/3 successful. I think the EA Sports presentation was just terrible, because they're like, hey, let's bring in all these famous people to talk about these games that they're clearly just contracted to do so. Here's Drake to talk about FIFA. Why? We don't care about Drake. Show us the freaking gameplay. Give us a reason why FIFA is going to be better than Winning 11, which, like NFL 2K, you have pushed out of being noticed. There are better games out there. They're trying to bring back NBA Live, even though NBA 2K has completely crushed them every single year. What they should be focusing on is they should make UFC not look like shit, because their UFC game, they didn't even show gameplay. And if that was gameplay, I'm really not looking forward to it. If that was a pre-rendered cutscene, even worse. There was nothing there to be excited about. Either way, it looked stiff as hell. Madden, they're still touting features that were on NFL 2K, and they said, oh, gameplay, here's pre-rendered footage. Oh, what else? What else did EA Sports show? No MLB, which was surprising, because that's something that they actually kind of have going for them. I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something. I'm sorry. I'll get back to it. The new Need for Speed. Yeah, it looks... I wish it didn't look so good. I always hate when EA is like, hey, here's a fantastic looking game. I'm like, ugh! I swore to not give you money until you changed your policies. So, yeah, they released the new Need for Speed, and I loved Hot Pursuit 2. And this looks like the closest game to Hot Pursuit 2 since Hot Pursuit 2 is released. Again, Titanfall. They had to show Titanfall again. There was something else. Oh, Dragon Age. If you're a Dragon Age fan, I'm sure you're excited. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch the trailer. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I've seen most of the Dragon Age story, so I understand the trailer, but I don't like how it plays. The story is fine, but I think the gameplay is terrible. I think BioWare's last great game was Knights of the Old Republic, in my opinion. I feel they've kind of been sliding downhill rapidly since then. That includes Mass Effect, and you can hate me if you want. I missed the Ubisoft press conference, and I am ashamed, but I had to drive home, so sue me. I did, however, watch the Sony press conference, and the Sony press conference was really, really interesting. I felt it went on for a while. It was very flashy. It was very distracting. But they did open up with a lot of gameplay footage. They talked about games for the PS3. They talked about games for the Vita. They talked about games for the PS4. It was fantastic. They said, here are systems. Here are games for them. Come play them. Last of Us looks fantastic. I'm totally playing that on Friday. What else? They showed Watch Dogs. Oh yes, Watch Dogs. Oh, it looks so cool. The new Infamous looks solid. I haven't played the Infamous games before. I'm thinking I probably should. I selected the route to play Prototype when the two of them came out, and I only wanted to buy one of them. I liked Prototype. I don't regret my decision, but I understand that the writing in Infamous has only gotten better, whereas the writing in Prototype kind of took a dive with the second one. What else? Oh, I forgot to say it. During the Xbox One press conference, the first thing they showed was Metal Gear Solid 5. Really interesting thing, because they're not having David Hayter do the voice of Snake anymore. They're having Kiefer Sutherland do the voice of Snake, which makes sense. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland plays a Snake character all the time, but why not David Hayter? David Hayter has made Snake Snake. There's no reason to swap him out now. Anyhow, the gameplay looks good. Engine looks solid. If you're a Metal Gear fan, you were probably like, oh. If you're not a Metal Gear fan, you're like, it's another game I'm not going to play because it's half cutscenes. I recognize that. I'm still a fan. Where was I? Sony's press conference. Yeah, they talked about stuff for the Vita. They've got a bunch of third-party support. Their first jab of the night towards Microsoft was in how they are indie-friendly. And they work very well with independent developers. That's a good thing, because Microsoft is very much not. Working with Microsoft to get an indie title released is a nightmare. Skullgirls patch, just a patch, was delayed by like a year because it didn't meet Microsoft's size limitations for a patch. It was a big patch. They didn't want to let it through as a patch because it was so big. And it was just ridiculous. And it took them forever to get things cut down and pushed through before Skullgirls could finally get patched on the 360. Oh, there was something else. Oh, Crimson Dragon. That was on Xbox One also. I was really excited for it, and then I saw that it was made by the same developer, or the same guy who did the Panzer Dragoon series and Dust, or Phantom Dust. Panzer Dragoon is such an amazing series. If you haven't played the Panzer Dragoon games before, you owe it to yourself. Go find them. I don't know how you'd go about playing most of them, but you can probably find Orda for the Xbox One, which is backwards compatible on the 360, for pretty cheap. There's just so much stuff during the press conferences. I'm getting it all jumbled. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare from EA. I know a lot of people are excited for it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is what you've been making PopCap do? You're making them make you another shooter? Battlefield 4 looks good. Still EA. I'm still going to wait until they change their policies before I send any money their way, and it's a shame because it means I'm missing out on some games that otherwise look really good. The Last of Us on PS3. Oh, Beyond Two Souls from Quantic Dream. Is there anything that studio cannot do? It's like every time they release a game, they have to release it 10 years ahead of its time. Like, I got introduced to them back in, like, Omicron. Oh, Omicron was amazing for its time. And then they went on and they did a bunch of other games. Indigo Prophecy was one. On the PS3, there was Heavy Rain, which some of you may know, some of you may have probably played. That's probably like the most gripping storytelling I've ever seen in a game. And it had really immersive gameplay, and they're one of the few companies that have actually, they did something really, really good with the motion controls, and it actually added to the immersion of the game. But Beyond Two Souls looks good. Holy crap. I really just want to, like, skip ahead to the big thing. They're big, like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just stop talking about the games. You can go watch the trailers. Assassin's Creed 4. Watch the trailer for Assassin's Creed 4. It looks really good. So Jack Tretton comes out, and he's like, in order to play used games on the PlayStation 4, you don't have to do anything special. He ran down, he went down the list of everything that everybody is angry at Microsoft about. And he said, we're not going to do this, 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 we're not going to do this. We are going to be a consumer-friendly company. We believe that if you purchase a game, you can do what you want with it. They even posted a video, and I'll try and link it below. If I forget to, then I suck, and just go search it anyways. And it's a tech video on how to loan games on the PlayStation 4. They're like, step 1. Thanks! And that's it. That's the entire video. It was just this massive, massive stab at Microsoft. And the crowd just freaking went wild. I hate Jack Tretton, but at that point in time, I would have shaken his hand. I'm like, you're a son of a bitch, but that was beautiful. Oh, it was so amazing to just watch them go up there. And then, after going down the list of everything that Microsoft is doing wrong and saying, we're not going to do this, they're not always going to be on. You can play your games offline. It's never going to have an online check whatsoever. DRM free. God, everything that we expect from console gaming, they're going back to. And I think they just, they earned the hearts of gamers everywhere. And then, as he's walking out, he's like, it'll be $400. $100 cheaper price point than the Xbox One. Even though at that point, they probably could have charged more and people would have still bought it. And just that final jab at Microsoft. You're really going to overprice your Big Brother system for $500? All right, well, here's our system, which isn't going to have all of these tacked on features, and it's going to be $100 cheaper. Oh, you bastards, you beautiful bastards. I have never been a Sony fanboy. I've always been kind of middle of the road. Usually, I dislike Sony the most. They win E3. They win this year in gaming because Nintendo just completely chickened out. They didn't even do a press conference this year. They're going to have a Nintendo Direct thing tomorrow or further on in the week, I think, which they always do Nintendo Direct anyways, but it's at random times, and they're really stupid times. And all they do is talk about 3DS games, and they just kind of ignore their Wii U, which I bought for Monster Hunter, and I would really like to play some other games on it. Still no word on Dragon Quest. Square Enix has their press conference tomorrow morning. I'm doubting Square Enix is going to announce Dragon Quest. It wasn't on the list. They said that they were going to announce some other games. That's it. That was the one I was thinking of. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts 3. All you Kingdom Hearts fans can go crazy. Personally, I can't get into them. It's not the idea of Disney and Square character. Sorry, it's 90 degrees, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sweating. Colorado during the summer is just terrible. Lots of people forget that we're a desert. Yes, I live at the foot of the mountains in Colorado Springs, but it's still a damn desert. What was I saying? Square Enix. Kingdom Hearts 3, yes. Kingdom Hearts fans everywhere. Go crazy. I'm sure you're very, very excited. I think the gameplay is crap. But it makes you happy, and that's what's important. Oh, man. And then they came out, and they're like, we have one more announcement. Boom. Versus 13 hits the screen. They have gameplay footage. They have amazing gameplay footage. They have finally taken the hint. You know all those amazing fight scenes in Advent Children with people bouncing off of the walls? And I can't describe it in words how just awesome the fight scenes were in Advent Children. They're putting it in a game as actual gameplay, and it wasn't filled with God of War QuickTime events. It's the actual gameplay. Finally! And then on top of all that, they're like, number change. This is going to be Final Fantasy 15. What's up? Oh, God, that was cool. That was supposed to be like an X and a V, and that just did not work with my hands because I'm not gangster. There's X, V, bam, 15. I haven't been this excited over a Final Fantasy since like 9. This has to be my favorite E3 in years. The amount of gameplay footage that developers are showing is amazing. Other games that I wanted to be excited for, The Order. The Order looks like it has potential to be really cool, but they broke the #1 rule. All they did was they showed us a pre-rendered cinematic. Nobody cares about pre-rendered cinematics. Since the last console generation, we can put all that stuff into games. We can do that with the game engine. Why are you wasting your time with a pre-rendered cinematic? It doesn't even constitute as a commercial. Show me what the game is going to be like. Because right now, I have no idea what it's going to be like. Is it going to be a tactics game? Is it going to be over-the-shoulder shooter? Is it going to be first-person shooter? Is it going to be a squad shooter? I don't know. I can't even really reliably say that it's a shooter. Sure, there are people with guns. That doesn't mean that it's a shooter, though. What if it's like a kart racing game where you've got your horse and carriage and it's in steampunk England and you're being chased by monsters and you've got your knights with their steampunk guns shooting out the sides? Show us gameplay or we can't make up our minds on what to do about your new product. Rise of Rome on the Xbox One. That's a shitty tech demo. Here's our cool new action game. And then like the action was almost entirely on rails. Every single piece of combat was a quick time event. Like you'd hit somebody and they'd be like, hit X. Oh, hit B. Oh, hit Y. I hope you're paying attention to all these buttons. We don't want to give you any freedom to decide how you're going to dispatch the enemies on your own. Anyhow, overall, I am actually pretty pleased with this E3. It's been better than the last couple of years. Not the best E3 ever. I think the best E3 ever was like 10 years ago, I want to say. I think it was 10 years ago. It was whichever one that they announced Twilight Princess at. That was an amazing E3. There was tons of games announced then, and they almost all had gameplay footage. Ooh, that was a good one. But this one's been pretty good. They had a lot of gameplay footage for Metal Gear 5. No gameplay footage for Halo, which I can hold against them, and I should hold against them. And I know I'm being a hypocrite for not being as hard on them for it. But it's Halo. You know, the gameplay hasn't really changed at all ever. You know, it's been over 10 years. It still plays like Halo. Why bother showing us gameplay? Just be like, here's a little snippet of story. Master Chief's back. Room goes crazy. We all know the drill. And then to top things off during the Sony press conference, there's like... They kept talking about Bungie and about how Bungie put like console first-person shooters on the map, and they were very, very careful to never actually say Halo, but they kept alluding to Halo. And then they're like, "Here's the game Bungie's making for us, Destiny." And it's like Destiny is tailor-made to fill that Halo-sized hole in the hearts of all the Xbox fans, like myself, who are jumping ship for the Sony boat, because Sony right now is the only console manufacturer that seems to actually care about making games for its systems. Alright, I'm going to go like fall asleep in my fridge or something. It was stupid hot today. It hit like 95 degrees and my apartment is still not cooled down. I ran the air conditioner for like an hour. Did nothing. Alright. Take care, everybody. Peace.